Hello, this is Joe Pryor, the virtual real estate team in Oklahoma, and we specialize in investment real estate in the Oklahoma City and the Tulsa market. I'm on webinars a lot and seminars. I've been doing those for the last 21 years, hundreds of them, matter of fact, and just last week, I did another one. And, you know, I do them every quarter, at least every quarter, and sometimes I'll do some special ones, but here's the thing. I mean, I'm competing on these webinars with a lot of other cities and a lot of other states when it does happen. And, you know, I try to listen to the other presentations to see what's going on. And what I find that's really interesting to me, and this is something that I want to put out there to any investor anywhere in the United States, not just somebody that wants to buy in Oklahoma, is one of the things that I was doing is I was showing calculations in terms of return on investment analysis. In other words, what is the capitalization rate? What is the cash on cash? What is the internal rate of return? These are the things that I've learned because I've been incredibly well trained in both residential and commercial real estate. And because of that, one of the things that you really have to do when you're talking about homes, offices, warehouses, and everything else that you learn about, in terms of selling, you've got to know what the return on investment is. And so when I listened to the other presentations, not one other person even mentioned that. They were just saying, well, here's the price. Oh, here's the cash flow. It's going to be negative in the first year, but hey, it's going to be great in the second year. But not necessarily explaining why, and never saying this is your annualized return on investment if you hold this for 7 to 10 years. You know, and I've said this before, is there's hardly any investment specialist out there in the United States right now. You know, to find someone like myself that dedicates them totally themselves to investment real estate, it's kind of hard to find. Doesn't mean that you can't find somebody that does other kinds of real estate and can compute things. But everything that we do in terms of our education, in terms of our third parties, creating a turnkey operation is based on investment real estate. But you're flying blind if you don't know what your annualized return on investment is. We make sure that you know that. We make sure that you understand what an exit strategy is. Now, I've got people that own their properties 20, 25 years and haven't sold. But the whole point is that's not everybody. And even they are going to want to sell it sometime. And by the way, maybe their heirs get that, you know, after they die. I hate to mention that, but that's basically something that they get. They may want to sell it themselves. And so an exit strategy is something that one always ought to think about, because sometimes things don't just work out perfectly, or maybe you don't want to be a landlord. So we do all of these things, but all of this is centered around, before we recommend anything to anybody, is we've got to know, are you getting 12% on your money after tax? Are you getting 18% on your money pre-tax every year? We want you to know and compare that to other types of investments that you can make and say, this is what I'm getting as a conservative stock market investor, mutual funds, annuities, fixed incomes, bonds, whatever it happens to be. You need to know what you're going to get. And the thing that I pride our group on is getting double-digit returns every year. And we will share with you this computation, and it is a kitchen sink one. We are going to put in property management. We're going to put in vacancy. We're going to put in maintenance, everything that's in the real world. So trust me, if you're buying anywhere, make sure they understand return on investment, that they can compute it so that you know what you're getting. That's no way to do things in terms of flying blind. If somebody says, hey, I work with investors, I'll be happy to help you.